Voiceover Social.
Look what's just walked into my studio. Hello, Mrs. B.
Hello, Rob Bee. How are you?
I'm very well. You're snotty.
I am. I made the mistake of going to somewhere with people. I guess that's the disadvantage of socialising is they give you your bugs. So I'm full of cold. It's delightful. So I'll try to be.
Yes, you can stay over there.
Yeah, fair enough. But it was a good reason that we were being social, wasn't it? It was fun. We went to One Voice.
We went to One Voice.
Yay!
And what happened at One Voice?
We talked to lots of lovely people and did lots of lovely one-to-one sessions. Both of us got booked out, which was lovely, and really appreciate everybody that came to chat to us. And catching up with friends, and on the Saturday it was the awards night. And do you know what, Rob? I think we worked out that apart from the international category, I think we had clients in every single category at One Voice, including a client in the service provider, which
yes.
is just rather lovely.
I don't think we had one in the children's section.
No, that's true. No.
But yes, other than that, I think we're good.
There was something like 35 categories, so 30-odd categories with one or more of our clients nominated, which was very, very cool, and a good few of them won, which is really exciting, and it was so lovely to celebrate with them.
Yes, and we are dancing around the fact that
we also won an award.
Yes, we retained our title of Best Voiceover Service Provider, which was absolutely lovely.
Thank you so much. It's really odd because we have absolutely, rightly so, we have absolutely no say in it. And so it's all down to the people who voted for us, and we don't know who you are. We don't know how it works. Thank you. Yes,
and what it means is that people are really, really happy with the service that we're providing for them, and that's what it's all about for us, isn't it? It's it is working with lovely, lovely people and helping them run their businesses.
Yeah, it was a fabulous night, and that kind of leads us on to another award winner who we have on our podcast guesting with us this month.
Yes, not one of our clients yet, but Anna Cass, who we are hearing from very, very shortly, won the Best Newcomer of the Year award.
Yeah, Anna is an absolute, she's a living bundle of joy, I think is the best way to describe Anna. She just has a habit of making everybody smile when she walks into a room for all the right reasons, and it was amazing getting to chat to her. We had a lot of fun.
Yes, you will hear a monumental amount of laughter right the way through the interview. Believe you me, I've edited a lot out.
Is that such a bad job?
No, it's not a bad thing. It's just, keeping the flow of the interview going and all the rest of it,
Yeah,
sacrifices have to be made.
Yeah, and we also have Equity and Annette Rizzo coming to give us loads of updates. But blimey, there is so much going on with Equity at the minute. Some really unfortunate and serious stuff as well about AI. Yeah, I was ever so grateful that she comes and gives these updates, because it's so important to hear what's going on in the industry and how we can support some of that. You don't have to be an Equity member to support some of the things that they're currently doing, which is ace.
Yes, and the only other thing that we need to tell you about before we crack on with the interview is, let's have a drum roll. We have a date for the Great Big Voiceover Social 2026.
Woo! Oh, it's exciting. I can't believe we're doing another one.
Yes, lots of work between now and then, but that's all good. So the date for the social will be
Saturday, the 7th of February.
And the venue will be
53-2 in Manchester again. So same venue, but a week later. We listened, we took notice, we agreed with you all that running a full day event at the end of January might have been a little bit too close to Christmas. And so we're doing it first week of Feb.
Yes, and that's all we're going to tell you about that for now, because we don't have any other clues about what's going to be happening either.
We have ideas, but nothing set in stone just yet.
Okay, so let's crack on with this month's podcast, and let's see what Anna Cass has to say for herself.
I am an 100% AI voiceover, and I am being put out of business by thevoicefinder.com. Play sad music. It's just so easy for producers and casting directors to find and get in touch with voiceover artists on the Voice Finders online directory that they have stopped using me altogether. It's disgusting. How is a robot like me supposed to earn an honest living now? If you are a human voiceover artist, please do not sign up for a 1-month free trial at thevoicefinder.com. Pretty please. Message terminated.
Anna Cass, winner of One Voice Awards Newcomer of the Year. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Anna Cass, originally from all the way in Hertfordshire, which is north of London, and now live in London. And I'm a voice actor. I guess aside from voice acting, I'm a big fan of musical theatre and travelling. I've just come back from a 6-month trip travelling around South and Central America. And I'm back home.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, there's one, we've been briefly mentioned that you were award winning, but there's one big question that I actually want to get out before I forget to ask it is, where have you put your award? Where's it placed?
So it is right smack bang in the centre of the mantelpiece. And
nice.
I'm not lying, it is also right next to a turtle statue that is drinking wine. They're both quite in place.
I feel like we need a photo, but yeah.
I was going to say, I'll send you a
Excellent, excellent. Right, on to the proper questions. So, we did mention that you've just won, and it's really exciting that you've just won your One Voice Award for Best Newcomer. How did you get into VO? Where did you start?
So, I hope people don't judge this answer, right? Because it's not the typical, someone said you had a nice voice and you should get into VO. It's not quite that. But I used to do, I've always been able to do accents, right? And it was always more of a kind of party trick, like in the pub, and then you just convince a complete stranger you're from somewhere completely entirely different, and my friends finding it hilarious. It was kind of just more of a bit of a party trick. But then when I lost I was made redundant from my job in 2023. I've got a friend that works at Goldcrest Studios. And so she works with VOs all the time, and she was like, these accents could be quite useful if you want to get into voiceover. And I was like, oh, what's voiceover? And I literally didn't really know anything about it, apart from obviously what it says on the tin about voiceover. And so she was like, why don't you come to the studio, have a feel, you can meet the directors, kind of have a feel, see how you feel about it. So I did. And I loved it. And I was like, this is really cool. And then obviously did a little bit more research into it. And then discovered the voice acting as well. And because I've got an acting background, I did a lot of musical theatre, literally from the ages of about 4 to about 18, 19. I was always doing some form of drama classes, dancing classes. The dancing was never very good. Singing classes and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of was like, I can even use this experience as well. And as I learned more about voiceover, I was like, this is really cool. And then,
that's really
haven't
lovely.
Looked back, really.
Nice. So thanks to your mate. That's really cool. That's a lovely.
I think I said our lunch, actually. I think I said that.
Probably.
Well, it's on a podcast now, so she'll be claiming it.
That's true.
So, what inspired you to enter the awards then? How did you find out about One Voice and the awards, and why on earth would you enter it?
I kind of got my sort of journey, as it were, started in July 2023. That was when I went to Get Your Game On. And lots of people there were talking about One Voice because it had basically just happened. It was, I think, it was only 2 months before, 2-3 months before. And I was like, what is this? What it sounds really fun. Everyone was saying how fun it is. So I was like, okay, next year I'm going to make sure I go. So that was 2024. But by that point, obviously, I'd only kind of been doing it sort of when the entries were available to send it in. I kind of only been doing it for sort of 6 months, so didn't have anything to send into it because, it was all training and all coaching and all that kind of stuff. But then this year, I almost missed the entry point, but I had a couple of things that I'd done that I was proud of that I was like, you know what, why not? Maybe I can send something in now. Brilliant. So this year, I actually almost missed it. And it was actually Paul Day who sent me a message and was like, oh, by the way, you can send stuff in for One Voice now. And I was like, shit, there's only 24 hours left to do it. And I was like, oh no. So so I basically, obviously the cancer research project which was the thing I was most proud of. And I was like, right, I need to put this in a category somewhere. And then I saw the newcomer. I didn't actually know there was a newcomer option. And I was like, oh, amazing. So yeah, I sent that in, kind of thinking nothing of it. And then, and then I was actually I don't know whether this makes me sound like a dick, but I was sat in Costa Rica when I found out that I was nominated. And I was like, what? Completely shocked. Emily Jardine had messaged me and was like, nominated. So I panicked. I was like, oh my God. What? And so, that was a good day. But I just, I forgot what the question was.
That was it. You answered the question. Don't worry.
I finally had something to send. And so I sent it, basically.
I love how last minute it was. And do you know what? You're not the only person that has said that's ended up winning as well. And I think that's something that until that clock chimes, whatever, 5 to midnight or whatever it is, it's never too late to just give it a damn good go and see what happens. I mean, it's better to try these things and
can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket, as I say.
Exactly.
I think the last minute thing is quite a voiceover thing as well, because if you look on social media on January the 31st, the number of people are still doing the tax return.
Also, why waste time if you leave it to the last minute?
I mean, there's a certain thing about working on your own that probably attracts the more neurodiverse members of the society, I reckon. I think there's a lot of traits in us people that like to do this. It's really cool, though. I mean, huge congratulations as well. We have to say that because it was.
It's wild. I mean, you were both witness to how underprepared I was for the show. I was just happy to have a seat at the table, like the literal dinner table, and just sitting there with the screen. And I was like, oh, I'm not prepared for this. It was amazing.
No, it was lovely. So, is it sunk in yet entirely, or?
Not really, no. I only just put it on my email signature, and I was like, I could put the winner thing on there.
So bearing in mind that it hasn't sunk in yet, what difference do you think it's going to make to either you or your voiceover career?
Oh, I guess for me, it was kind of that validation that I might actually be doing something right, because I think the first 6 months to 12 months is just chaos. Just because obviously I had absolutely zero knowledge of the industry, zero knowledge of what to do, zero knowledge of all the things, the technical side and the marketing side, let alone obviously the performance side of the very different areas. And it's very easy to kind of, be unsure of yourself and unsure if am I doing this right? Am I even good at doing this? Those kind of things. So kind of receiving the kind of validation, like, you know what, you're doing okay. Like something is working. So I feel like it's helping me take that confidence forward. That like, look, you are doing the right thing. It's going okay. Just carry on, just keep on doing it. Really.
I think that's a really good reason as well, and it is lovely to get that kind of recognition. And again, I think performers quite often we're very self-deprecating. We can really put ourselves down with the word. I mean, imposter syndrome is rife in the voiceover industry.
We're all riddled.
Riddled is a brilliant description. And I think sometimes we just need those little reminders to ourselves that actually it is okay and it is going okay, and that's a really lovely way to approach the awards. And I think
also even to just be nominated, or to just, I think any part of it, or even just say to each other, like having nice things said to you by directors or even fellow voiceovers, like I feel like we all need that constant praise, or just some kind of constant praise. But you know what I mean?
We're a needy bunch.
Even if you don't have an award or anything like that, or a nomination, because I also I think that the awards are such an amazing thing, but I also I don't know. I would hate people to get stressed about not being nominated.
No, it's a valid thing. I mean, you never know who is listening and how they are being judged. I mean, at the end of the day, let's face it, if we are getting paid for what we are doing and we are earning enough money to live, then
And if you have
hooray!
happy clients, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's
And happy clients, happy enjoying yourself doing it, then absolutely, it is lovely.
Exactly.
So, in terms of where you think you might be going with your career, obviously you've said that you're pretty new, you've just won the Newcomer. What are your kind of aims for the next, I don't know, 5-10 years? Have you got any even?
Well, I'd say within a year. Okay, we'll go on a year. Do a short time. I don't even know what I'm going to have for dinner, let alone 10 years bloody time. I'd say 1 year. I'd love to, because I've got a couple of regular clients who, you know, come to me and do regular work with. I'd like to just continue to build that up, would be good. Mm-hmm. And also do lots and lots more video games would be amazing. I've done a few, but just keep building that up because that's always really fun. And obviously got the lovely Emily Dean, my wonderful agent now, sending me all these cool auditions, and I'd like to get them all of them. And I guess, 10 years, billionaire. Easy. Yeah,
nice.
I'd like to be a billionaire. That's all right. I guess in 10 years, I would love to have enough experience and kind of wisdom, maybe, to actually sort of start helping other people and giving back to the community. And also, I would really love to host something in 10 years' time. Not yet, but like host something. You know, join Hugh and Pete, the One Voice or something, or Brad on Wonderland. I'd love to host something. I just think that'd be really fun. But
I love that.
Let's walk before we can run, shall we? You know, they need to get the experience and the knowledge first.
If you don't dream, you'll never get there, and I think that's part of it as well. You have to have these kind of mad pie in the sky ideas, because where else are they going to come from if it's not from you? And I think that's a really lovely thing to want to do, is to give back to a community that you've obviously got a lot from, which is ace. It's lovely.
Because if I didn't have the people that have been helping me the past 2 years and still continue to help me with the 5 to 10 years experience, there is no way I would still just be completely. I'm still a little bit lost and clueless. I think, you know, we all are. But if I didn't have those people, then I would have no idea where I'd be now. And so I would like to hope that when I have as much experience as they do and could do the same thing and help other people.
So how have you learned how to be a voiceover? I mean, there are training organisations around. Have you taken the opportunities to learn with any of those organisations? Are there any voiceovers who you have been kind of watching, sort of individuals, and learning from and thinking, you know, when I grow up, I want to be them, or anything like that? How have you learned the craft?
My first thing was workshops. I did a lot of workshops at first. So I went to Get Your Game On, and I did, what's it called? Did a workshop at OMUK. So that was the first time I ever actually met VOs in person. And I was like, oh, these people are really cool. Amazing. So I kind of obviously made some connections there. And that was when, obviously, was told, get some coaching, which was, I'm so glad someone said that. I did my coaching with Emily Jardine, who is just amazing, who basically taught me everything that I know. So I did loads of sessions with her. That was to kind of get me obviously learning everything from what kind of areas there are in voiceover, to the technical side, to the performances and all that kind of stuff. So that was amazing, and that was also got me prepared to do my demos. So it was kind of like you do that first, and then you get your demos. But then there's other people. You know, Trev Fleming has always been there to help me as well. He has answered. I've sent him so many stupid questions over these past 18 months, and he's always available. He always replies within at least an hour, even if it is to tell me, like, what are you talking about? No, I don't know. He's been amazing. Brad Shaw as well. I do lots. I love doing all the workshops with Wonderland as well. I love a workshop, all of them, even if they're not necessarily relevant for me or something. Not even if they're maybe not something that I'm necessarily interested in so much. I always think they're really valuable to go to, because you would never know what kind of little nuggets of wisdom that you get out of them.
Absolutely. And how do you know what you want to do unless you've given it a go as well? I mean, sometimes you just don't know genres exist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's been a couple of those. I'm like, what's this? This sounds so fun. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think you can also continuously. You need to continuously keep learning. I think you need to continuously learn, because there's always, I certainly do. There's always stuff to learn. There's always little nuggets of wisdom to find out and expand your knowledge.
I love the mix and the range that you've had of people influencing, because I think that's another really important thing. Is you've got to find your own path through whatever career it is. And sometimes if you just coaching with one person, you can get a bit stuck in just their way of doing stuff. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just that sometimes another person's approach might suit you better or just give you different ideas. And I love that kind of mix
different
of stuff.
perspectives.
Yeah. I mean, you've shouted out so many good people in that list that we know and who are repeatedly getting good shout outs from other people, and rightly so, because they are excellent at what they do. So in terms of genres of work then, so you mentioned gaming. What other what floats your boat in the VO world? What is it that you'd love to work in?
Yeah, gaming's got to be number one, because I just love everything about it. And learning so much about the time and effort and passion that goes into them is so from all aspects, not even just the VO aspect, from the developers and from the directors, all aspects. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. I do also love playing games as well, which may also influence my decision.
I was about to ask if I think it kind of makes sense, and it gives you that understanding of how things are worked. But gaming production is a long process.
Exactly. But also an area that I'd be super interested in, but I'm kind of one step at a time. I'd love to do animation as well. I think it would be so much fun, because then you've obviously got the kind of deep and serious and acting in the video games. Obviously you can have silly and over the top characters in video games as well, but it's more so the kind of serious and deeper meaningful stuff. Whereas then you can have animation where you can just be silly and be ridiculous and kind of have these over the top characters, which I just think would be awesome. And again, I also love watching animations as well. So I think it'd just be fun, because then you kind of cover all basis for acting, which I think would be really cool. But I also would like to do commercials as well. You know what? I'll do them all. I want to do them all, to be honest. I like all of them. But commercials would be fun as well. I would love to be like, when you go into Sainsbury's and it's like, unexpected item in bagging area. Oh, that'll be the dream. That'll be the dream. One of them.
Okay, so what aspect of your journey have you found the hardest so far?
The bloody technical side, Rob. I don't understand it. Okay. I don't get it. I need your help. No, that is a struggle for me. I just like, you might as well be speaking Chinese to me when you say put the doodah and try this and the thingy would bob.
Yeah, I can tell that, because there's no such thing as a doodah.
Oh, what?
Everything's a doodah.
Actually, to quote Bradshaw, he always says we're in the industry of rejection, which is true. You have to be able to, just get used to rejection, because of course you're never going to get, no way in a million years are you ever going to get absolutely everything you audition for. And to be honest, I mean, I'm not going to say the rejection doesn't bother me at all, because I think anyone would be lying to say that, oh, none of it ever. Because, if there's a job that you think you really, really wanted, or you sent an audition that you thought you did really, really well in, and then you don't get it, it's a bit sad. You're like, oh, I thought I did a good job with that one, or I really wanted that one. Yeah. The kind of just learning that ability to just brush it off. Those ones that were a big deal to you, just get over it, get on to the next thing. That can be more difficult on some days than others. Some days it's easy and you're like, okay, whatever. But other days, if you're maybe just not particularly having a good week and you're like, why does everything seem to be going wrong? That's probably the hardest, to get over it.
It is tough. I think it's part of the joy of being self-employed is you have those moments where we all have jobs that we don't get, or clients that we were just like, I really wanted to work with you.
That one.
We all get it.
Yeah, exactly.
We all get it. But yes, you're right. That ability to kind of deal with it is absolutely essential. I think, you're right. What advice would you give to somebody that's considering coming into the voiceover industry? Someone that was like you were 4 years ago.
I've got 3 bits of advice. Right. Number 1, keep your day job at the beginning, just at the very start.
I love that practical.
Because the equipment, the demos, the coaching, it adds up. The setup, it adds up to quite a lot. So just in the start, keep your day job, so you can obviously keep buying all these things and just learn kind of in the background, and then as you build it up. I would also say, 100% make sure you get the coaching before you do your demos. I think is so key. Because I personally think I rushed into getting my gaming demo because I really wanted to have it done before going to a networking event that was all about gaming. And I just kind of rushed to get it done. But I hadn't had any real coaching. I hadn't acted for ages. And whilst I think it turned out okay, I listened to it now and I'm like, it just doesn't showcase what I can actually do now. And it's really annoying because you kind of think, I wish I'd just, waited a little bit, got the training up, did it a bit more acting classes, I guess. Because I hadn't acted for a while. That was key, I think. Make sure you get the training in before doing any kind of demos. Obviously, everyone wants to have their demos because they kind of think, I can't go to people until I have these, but it's important to get them done right and well. Because when I had my commercial and narration demos done, I'd had loads of coaching and I had loads of sessions and I was so much more confident going into them. And you can hear it in the demos. You can hear how much more confident I was in those ones than I was the ones where I was not prepared. Yeah. And number 3, find your tribe is key. Go to as many networking, even if you don't really necessarily like networking or going out and lots of crowds of people, which I completely understand, just go in there and maybe find the people that aren't talking to as many people. I mean, I personally like to go and run around and talk to as many people as possible.
Really?
Yeah, find your tribe. Just find a couple of people. Probably be good, maybe a mixture of experiences as well. Maybe, you can obviously have the people with 10 years, maybe have some people with 5 years, maybe a couple of newbies or newcomers, as it were. Just find your tribe because they are so invaluable to have. If you're having a bad day, they can help pick you back up. If you're lost, don't know what to do about something, I think finding your people and finding your tribe is absolutely the most invaluable thing you can have.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely second that as well. I mean, I struggled the first few years of being self-employed when I was kind of just on my own, and the minute that I found people that I could actually just go, oh my God, is anybody else feeling this shit? And and it's like, oh, thank. And for anyone listening, obviously, the voiceover social, just subtly mentioning those free networking events for people that we've got online and offline, and blah blah blah.
And it can be really lonely just being in your booth all day and not speaking to anyone. So when you actually get to go and meet people in person and be like,
I think those are 3 excellent pieces of advice for anyone. I mean, obviously, some of them are more pertinent to newbies, but certainly finding your tribe thing, finding those people that you click with, that you connect with, that you can kind of share with, that are going through the same things as you are.
Absolutely.
If it's a dry period, if you're having trouble with your accounts, if you're awkward client, or to celebrate the wins as well, having those people that you can lean on, rely on, and can laugh and cry together, that inner circle that
absolutely
you love and love you, and you've got each other's backs. And yes, it's a lonely business when you're sitting in a studio by yourself all day. So having those people around you, and the bigger networks as well. As someone who has been sort of in the industry for a couple of years, what is the thing that has surprised you most about it?
I guess for me, the people, the community, genuinely, because I feel like it would be so easy as an outsider looking in, being like, oh, technically all these people are, your competition because they're other voice actors and, you're all going for the same kind of job. And I guess, on some level you could think technically they are. I guess if you're a 28-year-old female from Southeast UK, where am I from? Technically you'd be competition. But it's so not like that at all. And I think obviously the acting world is everyone always hears about how absolutely brutal it can be. But I feel like the VO community, everyone, I've never seen a community where everyone is genuinely so passionate about what they do, genuinely loves what they do, but also is just so willing to help each other and support each other and just let someone rant about something and be like, yeah, same, and you just be there and just be there for each other. That was what surprised me the most. Everyone is just so genuinely wonderful. It's going to get all emotional over here. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, I agree, and it's changed Rob and ours lives as much as anyone else that we've spoken to, and it is genuine.
Yeah.
That sense of community is nothing like I have ever experienced, and it's really difficult to describe that sense of tribe or community to anybody that's outside it, because it makes no sense.
And also everyone is so different from each other, like from all different, places, different characteristics, different everything. But everyone just has the best time. We all hang out. Like, you can just, it's amazing. I think it's amazing.
It is very cool. I think that's a lovely, lovely thing to celebrate, and it constantly surprises me as well, in the absolutely the best way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been so nice chatting to you. You are an absolute joy and a bundle of energy, and every time you chat to people, I know a lot of people say this about you, that you just make other people feel joyful because of how you are. But also, I think, some really good advice, and I think really top advice for people.
Thanks so much. Hopefully it'll be useful.
It will be useful. At the very least, it'll kill half an hour while someone's walking the dog and listening to it.
How to lower the mood. Yeah.
Well, if I can get someone through a dog walk, I'm here to help.
News from Equity.
Okay, news from Equity. We have the wonderful Annette with us again. So, hello, Annette.
Hello, Rob, and thank you for a wonderful introduction. I like that. Being called wonderful is a great start.
Yeah, well, I aim to flatter.
Flattery works. It works on me.
Just also a very slight word as well, just to anybody who wonders where Helen is. She's pretending she's got a cold, so she's cried off today. So I can say anything I like about her, and she won't be here to listen. So Helen is a big fat stinky poo. Right, Annette, what are we talking about?
Not promising I'm not going to tell her. We are going to talk about what's been happening since last time at Equity, and the answer is loads. So, shall I just launch straight into it?
Launch straight into it. Launch straight in.
Okay, so since last we spoke, the annual Representatives Conference, the ARC, has happened within Equity, and that is exactly what it sounds like. Once a year, representatives from the different committees and from the different regional groups have reps gathered at one location. This occasion it was Derry in Ireland, and the aim is to each can submit a motion. The aim is to discuss each motion in detail, take a vote on it, and whatever happens with regard to those votes, those are the things that dictate the policies that the union will adopt and the campaigns it will adopt for the coming year. So, the two things I want to talk about in a little bit more detail, but not too much because we've got a lot to get through, are the relevant motions that were passed that will go forward for the year to come. So one is that nothing specifically to do with us in audio, but it was a general motion that was passed to take forward to the Trade Unions Congress, to the TUC, later in the year. I think it happens in September in Brighton. And this goes from Equity to the TUC, and it is a call to push for greater enforcement of our data protection rights, to go forward on the text and data mining exception, so allow us the ability to opt in rather than opt out to having our data scraped online, and the campaign to implement the AI for creative workers TUC manifesto. I'm not going to go into that because you probably will fall asleep, but it is actually quite important. It's something to read when you have time. If you're of that interest, then AI for Creative Workers, a TUC manifesto. You can Google it, you can find out the details, and that was passed with a big majority, possibly even unanimously. I wasn't actually the representative there, but so that passed, and that will be going ahead to the TUC. The Audio Committee's motion, because other committees had put forward motions about AI, and we have done that in previous conferences, we didn't focus on that this time because we thought that was already well covered. So our motion as an audio committee was specifically about radio drama and about the BBC. So the BBC has traditionally had an audio drama company, and obviously that's been retained actors who are, a troupe, if you like, who are regularly employed in audio dramas, and then obviously the additional actors are brought in when more are needed. And it's also provided really good opportunities for young actors who have won a couple of voice acting awards. So there's one called the Carlton Hobbs, there's one called the Norman Beaton Awards, and they traditionally have automatically been part of the BBC's radio drama company. So we have learned that the radio drama company has effectively been mothballed. In the last few years, it's gone down from, I can't remember how many members there were, but something like 40 members, and gradually there have been fewer and fewer retained members. And at the moment, although in theory the radio drama company still exists, there are currently no members. So we don't want to see that disappear. We called for no further cuts to audio drama output for the duration of the current charter with the BBC. We called for the active exploration of opportunities to expand audio drama, both on BBC Radio and on the other platforms like Sounds. And also we want the BBC to actively continue the radio drama company and to allow those opportunities of the Carlton Hobbs and Norman Beaton prize winners, their contracts, I think they're like 5-6 month contracts with the radio drama company. So that was what we were calling for, and that motion was passed by the conference, which means now Equity as a union has to support and further that in the future. So in the next year, it has to actively work on those. So that was a win. So enough about trade union congresses and motions and things, which I know sound quite dry, but they are important because they shape the policy of the union. The next thing is, you may have heard that Audible put out a notification that they were going to extend it to them. I suppose this is marketing to their potential clients and partners. They wanted to have indeed said they're going to extend their use of AI voices. So this was, as you can imagine, something that was greeted with dismay by members and by us as a committee. So what they're talking about is end-to-end AI narration. So no audio artists involved at all. You know, you as a writer just, oh, great, there we go. From start to finish, AI, no other human involved. I mean, it's only a short step to, because we know AI is already being used to write books. So it's not going to be long before we have an entire process with no graphic artists, no writers, no audio artists, nothing.
Yeah, that will also impact producers as well, because
absolutely.
the AI voices will be virtually produced. So all the producer would have to do would be just presumably format it into MP3 or whatever, which is acceptable to Audible's platform, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And personally, I feel any suggestion that this is about the choice we can offer to our customers is just shorthand for it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And we make more money.
For sure.
So Equity Audio has put out a statement asking Audible to reconsider, explaining why it is so devastating potentially to not only to our community, but also, you think of things like translators as well. Translators and voice artists who are multilingual. So there is a campaign. You can be part of it. You can, if you follow Equity Audio on Instagram, you will find it there. There is a post about it, and it is inviting people to make their voices heard by telling Audible what we think of their plans. I should say that Equity did write to Audible and laid forth what they thought about it, and they got a, not surprisingly, frankly, quite bland and generic answer back. So it's not going to make a huge impact because it doesn't need to. Nothing impacts large companies like Amazon and Audible unless they impact either their PR or their pocket.
Yeah.
So you can only do that by making a stink on social media. So that's one way. Follow Equity Audio, look that up on the posts, and then you can see what action you can take there. So that's the Audible campaign. While we're on audiobooks, a more positive note, the Audio Committee has been putting together an audiobook guide for current and potential audiobook narrators, and it's having the finishing touches put on it this very day that we're recording, and hopefully we'll be able to publish that very soon. So it's all sorts of information about what you should be looking for in terms of minimum rates, what a good studio should and shouldn't be requesting of you, and some additional information, particularly if you're new. There's some information terms you might not know. There's a sort of a glossary there. It's not going to be a massive guide of 70 pages. We've tried to keep it fairly succinct, so it should be easily accessible for people. So look out for the audiobook guide that will be published quite soon, and I think that's quite a good parting gift, if you like, from this particular committee, because they've been working really hard on this.
Sure.
Right up into the wire, because obviously we're soon to be disbanded as a committee. So, audiobook guide. Next thing, Lidl's voiceover competition. The Lidl voices. Aha!
Yes.
Not that long ago, a few weeks ago, Lidl announced they were looking for someone who was going to become the voice of their self-checkout tills across Scotland. And were they looking for somebody who was a professional who they would pay with a professional fee? Nope. Winner of a competition who would get £500 in Lidl vouchers. Yay! And become the main voice in Lidl supermarkets across Scotland. So not surprisingly, there were a lot of complaints from members, and again, Equity has made a direct approach to Lidl, as you would expect, asking them to remove the competition, change it to an advert to be a properly remunerated job for a performer, and have said we would be happy to meet with you to discuss this. And may I suggest that, again, the way to get these things to happen is to encourage with lots and lots of feedback. And if it annoys you and you want to have your say, then you can write to Lidl and tell them what you think, politely, please. And you can go to the Equity website. You can go to the Equity Audio page on Instagram, Twitter, the usuals, or you can email the press office at lidl.co.uk and just say, we really think this should not be happening.
I mean, Lidl aren't the first company to try and do this. You'd have thought that, maybe I kind of do live in a little bit of a voiceover bubble, I suppose, and see a lot of voiceovers and other professionals' reactions to.
Yeah.
I think Virgin Trains tried to do it with the voice of the toilets or something like that, and
they did.
Lots of other companies have tried to do the same thing.
They did.
You would have thought that these companies would have learned that it does result in bad press.
Yeah, you'd think, but then again, how much, and it is your job. If you're in PR, you'd think that it would be your job to know what's going on in the world of PR.
Yeah.
So I am baffled by it, because it's been going on for years. And I don't know why we're such an easy target. I suppose the kind of, well, it's so easy, anyone can do it. Really? Can they though? Can they? I'm not so sure.
No.
I've had people try, and I've thought, there's a reason why you do need to keep your day job. So, because it's always easy to look at somebody else's job and say, well, it's just this, well, it's just that. But there's always more to it than, if it looks easy, it actually just means that the person doing it, whatever it is
very good.
Is doing it really well.
Yeah.
Is the honest answer. Yeah. So, that's another one, is the Lidl campaign. The biggest one, I think, to cross the headlines in the last few weeks has been literally in the last week, and that will be the story of Gayanne Potter's voice being the voice of ScotRail. And if you haven't seen this, where the heck have you been? Because she's been on Sky News, she's been on the BBC, and I mean, every kind of press outlet actually has picked this up. I think one of the reasons it picked it up is ScotRail already had a story out a couple of weeks ago when they introduced the AI voice, and people were reacting negatively to it. So the story was already out there that they'd changed their voice to an AI voice, and a lot of people were complaining.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a little bit of a sample that was on the BBC website, and having worked with Gayanne many times, I can 100% plus say that she would have done a much better job had they actually rung her up and got her to do it rather than gone with the AI voice.
So we're back to the AI seems cheaper and easier, and one of their justifications, I think, was that the flexibility means that they can just, they need an announcement needs changing, they can just change it. Well, you and I both know that if you are talking about professional full-time voices, you can just call us up and we'll change it. You can have it within the hour very often. That's the point of having professional full-time voices. But the story is broader and deeper than that, because not only was Gayanne's voice used without consent, she hasn't been paid for it. Again, the details, the brief version of the story is that Gayanne did a voiceover that was text-to-speech 4 or 5 years ago for a company based in Sweden called ReadSpeaker. And they were producing material, text-to-speech, for visually impaired people. And although their argument is that the clause about being allowed to synthesize her voice was in her contract, there were also in existence email discussions between the company and Gayanne and her agent, I believe, and I don't have the legal details, but there were email conversations in which they reassured her that it was used for this and only this and nothing else. And let's not forget that 4 or 5 years ago, we were not hearing AI voices and they were not being used in the way they are now. So the suggestion that she was giving her consent for this are unfounded. I think certainly murky at best. Long before this story broke, Gayanne discovered that her voice was being used on their website and sold on. And she has actually been in litigation with them over the past few years, and they have shut out any attempt to discuss it with her. She even offered to refund what she was paid for the original session, give that money back to them, to have her voice removed, and they refused. So it's quite an in-depth story, and there is even more to it than that, but that's the kind of edited highlights. So lo and behold, ScotRail's been using her voice. She has not been paid for it. ScotRail is saying, nothing to do with us. This is about the contract between Gayanne and ReadSpeaker. And we're saying, actually, no. It's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit like saying, well, I bought this telly from a bloke in the pub and I paid him for it. If he nicked it from somewhere else, nothing to do with me, Gov. So, I mean, it's madness. So this has got some traction, this story, and although it's absolutely horrific for Gayanne to be going through it, because she says, understandably, that she feels completely violated. Her voice is out there being used for not just for ScotRail. We believe it's being used elsewhere, and that her voice is out there saying who knows what. Things that she hasn't given her consent for, has not been paid for, has no control over. So if ReadSpeaker and ScotRail feel that they can decline to comment and can decline to take action and that we will just leave it there, they can think again. At the time of recording, lots of things are happening. There's a lot happening on social media. Please have a look at what's happening by following Equity Audio on all the usual social media platforms. And if you have a few moments to read the story and offer your support to Gayanne, then please do. So that will take lots of forms. There will be more information coming out of Equity in the next few weeks. We think it's time to mobilise members in support, not just of Gayanne, because let's not forget, this is about Gayanne. We understand that other members are coming forward who've had the same experience with the same company and some other companies as well. So we think it's time to put a stop to it. And we have been campaigning already for changes to the law. And this, I believe, I hope that the silver lining that will come out of it will be that we will have a build-up of momentum behind the union's campaigns for changes in the law and to the way we work, the kind of contracts that we're expected to sign, the transparency under which companies are allowed to go forwards, both contractually and just in terms of the way that they then do or don't engage. So, I mean, we have a slight issue with ReadSpeaker that they're Sweden-based, I should say. So they are using that at the moment as a reason why they, it's out of jurisdiction in the UK, why UK, I think the ICO has already said, well, you have to seek redress in Sweden. But interestingly, I noticed that some European agencies have actually got on the story and translated Gayanne's story into their own languages and are trying to spread awareness amongst their own members and, again, hopefully build up a head of steam that will put pressure on the EU as well, because there are issues here about the opt-in, opt-out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go and look it up. Watch what's happening over the next few weeks, but please get involved, because the more members get involved with this campaign and the campaigns that come out of Gayanne's story, the better. And, we've always got to remember there are human beings at the centre of this, and it has had a real impact on Gayanne, and it's important that we convey the kind of human cost of this kind of transaction.
Sure, yeah.
So there we go. So there's the AI and ScotRail story, and as I say, I think there will be more members coming forth and more companies involved.
I think this is a story that a lot of people are going to be following, just because certainly in the UK, Gayanne is very well known, respected and loved by the community.
Totally.
And so we are kind of mobilised and we'll be following it. And Gayanne is not a person to back down from a fight, so she'll be pursuing it to the max, I'm absolutely sure.
I know, and despite the fact that obviously it's hugely upsetting for her, I am kind of punching the air with kind of, you picked the wrong person. This time you picked the wrong person.
Mm.
Right, so that last thing that I want to talk about is the equity elections. And again, the more engagement we have with elections, the better. Nominations have already closed. We do know that there will be a contested election for the audio committee. There are 15 candidates standing for 9 seats. So the ballot opens. The ballot's already open, actually. The ballot has already opened. So if you go to Equity, to the website, you will see that you can follow it through. If you put in elections, follow the links through there. But you will have communication from Equity in the coming weeks anyway, and telling you how to vote. The ballot closes on the 4th of July, I think. And so I think we all get an email. If you're a registered member, then you should have an email that will send you a link, and that will give you access to a digital voting platform. So it'll be quick and easy. Make sure that you do it. If for some reason they haven't got an email address for you, but you are a member, you should get a postal ballot. So if you haven't received either an email about the elections or a postal ballot, then you might want to get in touch with Equity and say, "Oi, I want to vote." So yes, please vote however you want to vote, whoever you want to vote for. Obviously, there will be some changes in the committee, so I may or may not be back in future episodes. It may be somebody else.
From our completely selfish point of view, we want you all to vote for Annette, otherwise we'll have to find someone else to fill this spot.
Thank you. Well, as reasons go, that's not a bad one. But whoever you vote for, please vote, because it does make a difference. It really does make a difference. And the people that you vote for are the people who are going to be representing your interests. They need to be accessible. So they need to be people who, you can just email or WhatsApp or DM or whatever and say, look, this is happening. What can I do about it? And they need to be people that you have confidence will actually stand up for audio artists and will do something concrete, not just go to meetings and talk about it, but will actually stand up and be counted, be heard. That's the point. So whoever you vote for, please vote.
That's quite a lot to take in. Is that? I'm going to ask a dreadful question. Is that everything? Is it everything?
It is everything, except for congratulations again to your big award that you guys were given at, quite deservedly so, at the One Voice Awards.
Oh, shucks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look, you really deserved it, guys. So congratulations, well done, and thank you.
Thank you for doing another News from Equity, and thank you for your congratulations on our wonderful award. We will speak again soon, no doubt, in another couple of months' time, I'm sure. And
one way or another, I was saying, if I'm not re-elected, it will be somebody else in my seat, but that's fine too.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much, Annette.
You've been listening to the VoiceOver Social podcast, hosted by Rob Bee and Helen Bee from BEE. Sponsored by
thevoicefinder.com
and BEE. Thank you to our guest,
Anna Cass.
Socials coming up are Kent on the 3rd of June, Helsinki on the 4th of June, Paris Online Social on the 6th of June, Belfast on the 7th of June, Humberside on the 14th of June, Manchester also on the 14th of June, Pineham Rabbit Online Social on the 20th of June, Wessex Online Social on the 26th of June, Oxford Social on the 2nd of August, and the Paris Social on the 27th of September.
All audio production by Rob Bee. Please like, subscribe and leave a review to help more voiceover people find us. And if you want to email us, it's listen@thevosocial.com. See you next month.
The VoiceOver Social.